Praise and salutation upon our Prophet Muhammad SAW. In this beautiful moment, I would like to say welcome to Profesor Insinyur Abdul Aziz Rahman, Timbalan Naibin upon our Hal Ehwal Pelajar, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Development. Dr. Iskandar Abdullah as representative of Student Affairs Division. Ms. Vigneshri King, Principal Assistant Registrar, the representative of International Student Center. Mr. Farid Maruf, representative of Attaché of Education and Culture for Embassy of Indonesia in Kuala Lumpur. Mr. Muhammad Haidar Mohalisi, President of Indonesian Student Association in Malaysia. Ms. Sarah Imtinan Basalim, President of Indonesian Student Association Universiti Malaya. Ms. Tasnim Binti Zahid, UMISA President, the additional student representative from other Indonesian societies in Malaysia, and lastly, of course, all of our participants. In this special day, we have a lot in our agenda, so allow me to brief you on our schedule for today. So first, we will begin with an opening performance by Sanggar Chatulistiwa, then an opening speech by Mr. Farid Ma'ruf. Next, the event will be opened by the head of the Indonesian Student Association of Universiti Malaya, Sarah Imtinan Basalim, as well as followed by a greeting speech from the head of IDFEST'21, Ms. Ashila Febriani Putri. Then, we will look into a workshop on developing your business by looking at Indonesian F&B trends by Mizz Rosiana Alim. Not only that, there's also going to be a cooking demo by Revel and more performances by Ehud, Harel, Julian, as well as Kaminaldi. So look forward to it and stay tuned because you don't want to miss out, especially since we have a merchandise for one lucky participant that have registered, which we will announce at the end of today's event. So without further ado, let us start with the Indonesian and Malaysian national anthem.
Indonesia Raya, merdeka.
Thank you very much. We will now have our first performance of the day from Sanggar Chatulistiwa. Sanggar Chatulistiwa is an Indonesian traditional dance team from International Islamic University of Malaysia. And today, they're going to perform one of the Indonesian traditional dance named Saman Dance. Let us now see the performance.
Salam Allah.
Okay, that was such a gorgeous performance. Thank you so much to Sanggar Chatulistiwa. Now, the representative of Attaché of Education and Culture for Embassy of Indonesia in Kuala Lumpur, Mr. Farid Ma'ruf is here with us to give an opening speech. To Mr. Farid Ma'ruf, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Mbak Siva. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Professor Dr. Abdul Aziz Rahman, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Development, and Mr. Dr. Iskandar Abdullah, Representative of Student Affairs Division, and Ms. Fitness King, as a Principal Assistant Registrar, the Representative of International Student Center, and Mas Haidar Muhalisi, PPI Malaysia Presiden, Ms. Tasnim binti Zahid, Jumisa Presiden, Mbak Sarah Basalim, PPI UM Presiden, and all the participants. So alhamdulillah that we still in very healthy condition, and we have also time, and the most important thing that we have willingness to join and to take a part this IDFEST' 21 program. I really grateful invited in this opening ceremony. Actually, I would like to deliver my thanks to and appreciation to PPI UM and also the committee for this cultural event. So that you are a student and you're still there to conduct this very good event for me. And we all know that Indonesia is continuously trying to introduce our culture to international community, to the world. And we have thousands of different culture. Every islands, every ethnicity, even every place has its own specific culture that differ to others. IDFEST 2021, I think, is one of activity to make our culture more recognized by international community. Knowing us means more chance, more opportunity for international people to come and visit us. And then we have more opportunity also to create mutual cooperation with international community. And you, students, are one of the best frontliner for every country, I think, to promote their respective country internationally. And PPI, with such a good event, with this event, has very well already to do your job and to do your tasks very well, I think, and introduce our culture to other international students. Hopefully, this international student later, they are also able to introduce this culture to their family, to their friend in their respective country. And at last, congratulations and all to the participants. Enjoy this event and stay safe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Farid Ma'ruf, for the speech. And to continue, we're going to open this event. Please welcome Ms. Sarah Imtinan Basalim, President of the Indonesian Student Association of Universiti Malaya, to open our IDFEST 2021 event. Please give Ms. Sarah Imtinan a warm welcome, everyone.
All right, thank you, Shifa. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Again, my warmest greeting goes to Professor Dr. Abdul Aziz Rahman as Timbar Naib Chancellor, Hal Ehwal Pelajar, Mr. Dr. Iskandar Abdullah as Representative of Student Affairs Division, Ms. Finishri King as Principal Assistant Registrar, the Representative of International Student Center, Mr. Farid Ma'ruf as the Representative of Attaché of Education and Culture for Embassy of Indonesia in Kuala Lumpur, Mr. Muhammad Haidar Muhalisi is the President of Indonesian Student Association in Malaysia, Ms. Tasnim binti Zahid as UMISA President, and all student representatives from other Indonesian societies in Malaysia. And of course, all the participants of IDFEST 2021. I'm speaking here to express my gratitude to everyone who's here to support the revival of the biggest event cherished by the Indonesian Student Association and University Malaya. Therefore, I owe the biggest thank you to the committee who have worked wholeheartedly to bring back IDFEST and to make sure that they always bring out the best of them. I'm also amazed by how our team made this possible despite every challenge and ideas that may have passed. IDFEST itself is not just about an event, but we, as the faces of Indonesian students in University Malaya, understood that this is our duty to uphold the values to show the world. The division that holds this event is known as the Arts, Culture, and Sports Division, which is why we are bringing a new concept, including the spirit of the division as well. Starting from Kastara, an e-sport competition where we receive support from teams who participated and several competitions to light up the mood of IDFEST. We're finally here in the main event. And again, I would like to thank everyone of our honored guests and participants for believing in us, because today we are bringing you the event of the year. And as of right now, I'm officiating the starting of this event. So welcome to IDFEST 2021, Groovin Thru the 80's. Please stay seated and enjoy the show. Thank you very much for the floor, and that will be all for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sarah Imtinan Basalim. Let's continue to the next opening speech from the head of IDFEST 2021, Ms. Ashila Febriani Putri. Please welcome Ms. Ashila, everyone.
Thank you, Kak Shifa, for the floor. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My warmest greeting to Professor Insinyur Dr. Abdul Aziz Rahman as Timbalan Naib Chancellor Hal Ihwal Pelajar or Deputy Vice Chancellor of Development, Mr. Dr. Iskandar Abdullah as the representative of Student Affairs Division, Ms. Vigneshri King as Principal Assistant Registrar, the representative of International Student Center, Mr. Farid Ma'ruf as representative of Attaché of Education and Culture for Embassy of Indonesia in Kuala Lumpur, Mr. Muhammad Haidar Mohalisi, President of Indonesia Student Association in Malaysia, Ms. Tansim Binti Zahid as President of UMISA, Ms. Sarah Basalim as the President of Indonesian Student Association in Universiti Malaya, all student representatives from other Indonesian societies in Malaysia, and of course all the participants of IDFEST 2021. My name is Ashila Febriani Putri, and in this opportunity, I would like to convey my gratefulness to everyone who have participated and make this event happening. This appreciation goes to everyone, including the committee, participant, and invited guests who are involved in this event. A quick introduction, IDFEST is short for Indonesian Festival and is an event run by Art, Culture, and Sport Division of Indonesian Student Association in Universiti Malaya. And through this event, Indonesian students in Universiti Malaya have gathered as a committee to show and promote Indonesian culture to the international society. Bringing up the theme Groovin Thru the 80's with IDFEST, we intended to introduce Indonesian culture in a modern way. Together, we contrive our event to objectify our purposes through a series of events, including competition, webinars, and performances. Even though this event has been conducted online, we sincerely hope this event could bring benefits for everyone involved. And last but not least, we hope everyone are having a great time enjoying this event. Thank you so much for the floor. I will pass it back to the Master of Ceremony. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ashila Febriani Putri, for your greeting. So before we continue our event, first let us capture this beautiful moment and we will take picture together. So everyone, I'm going to remind you again to please kindly turn on your camera and smile because we're going to take a picture, okay? Is everyone ready? One, two, three, smile. Okay, maybe one more time. One, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. So now it's time for the workshop that everyone has been looking forward to. Let me call the moderator for the workshop, Mr. Hanif Al-Hadi. Mr. Hanif, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Shifa. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Today, we are here to attend the Impact Career Ground Workshop as a part of IDFEST'21. And our theme today is Develop Your Business by Looking at Indonesia's Current F&B Trends. It is such an honor to welcome you guys here in this event. My name is Hanif Al-Hadi, and I will be the MC and moderator of today's Impact Workshop for the next few hours. Okay, although this Impact Workshop is held via online due to the unfortunate situation and circumstances, we wish that the sense of this Impact Workshop is nonetheless beneficial to all the participants in the future. So this Impact event cannot be accomplished without our partner, Ms. Rosiana, or better known as Mizz Rosie. And with that, we would like to send her our gratitude for the cooperation. As I have mentioned, today's webinar theme is Developing Your Business by Looking at Indonesia's Current F&B Trends. So therefore, it is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for our sharing session, Ms. Rosiana. For those who don't know, Ms. Rosie is passionate about educating and empowering people. She is a personal branding coach and consultant, F&B entrepreneur, public speaker, lecturer, and an author. She has also written the book, Next Level Personal Branding with Microblog, right? Okay, everyone, please join me in welcoming Ms. Rosie.
Thank you so much, Hanif, for the very warm welcome. I would like to say good afternoon and salam sejahtera to all of the audience here, the professor, the embassy, and all of the VIP guests who's together with us this afternoon. And I would like to also welcome all of the participants here, all of the students. It's an honor for me to be here as the keynote speaker of this event. So today I will be sharing about F&B trend, and so on. But before I share my screen about the slide that I've prepared for all of you, I would like you guys to type in your chat comment, what was your most favorite ordered food from your favorite restaurant, cafe, either you order it online or either you order it offline. Please type in the chat. Okay, Hanif said nasi goreng. It always reminds you to your hometown, isn't it, Hanif? Okay, bakso, sate ayam, ayam geprek, boba. Right, these are all my favorite too. McDonald's, period. Okay, milk tea, gulai kambing, dendeng batoko. Okay. Shiva said dessert. Yes, I love everything. I also have sweet food. Mie ayam, martabak. Well, wow. All of these are very comfort food. Oh, you said this is your most ordered food. This is your most or daily food that you consume every day, as you can see. And yes, I agree. Do you know, I have friends work in one of the online platform in Indonesia, let's name it. Okay, it's Gojek, right? Everyone know Gojek here. My friend work as the brand partner who are bridging or who are developing about acquisition of F&B partner. And do you know that until today there are a lot of F&B business developing and growing up here in Indonesia. Yeah, I'm talking about in one of the biggest city in Indonesia, which is Surabaya, my hometown. My friend worked in Gojek in Surabaya. He said that one of the most top ordered food in Gojek is martabak, rang bulan, bakso, and mie ayam in Surabaya. This is based on data, and it's confirmed. Even though you guys are not from Surabaya, maybe. This is the food that always remind us about our hometown. This is our comfort food, probably because we are Asian or we grew up as Indonesian or Asian people. So this is the food that it's comfort. This is the very first data that you need to put in your mind. So for example, if you start if you want to start F&B business, and then suddenly you feel like, I don't know what to make, I don't know where to start. You can start from yourself, you can start from your circle, just like I do to you. All you need to do is just to ask yourself, ask your circle, do a little research. Now, this simple ice breaking is just a bridging from me to you, that showing how much the demand about local food. So today we are talking about local food that comfort us. Yes, sometimes we can go to the fancy restaurant to celebrate such things, but in daily basis we always go to our comfort food. Okay, so can I ask the permission from the host so that I can share my screen, because it's that's still prohibited.
Okay, the committee, please.
All right, talking about food in this hour, I hope you guys already had your lunch. So the title of today's slides is The Beauty and the Pain of F&B Business. Yes, I'm not only talking about the beauty of it, the opportunity of it, the money, the profit, but also the pain of F&B business. Okay. Hanif already said a word about me. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I also an educator and content creator. You can find me on my IG. I am graduated from hotel management in one of the university in my hometown, Surabaya. And then I also took my double degree program, also related in F&B industry and service management in the Netherlands. And I also took my degree here in Jakarta, Indonesia. So I have a good news and also a bad news about F&B business. The good news is, as long as the human have stomach, the F&B business will never fade. You will always find this business, even though like 14 years from now, 20 years from now, you can always thinking about making something in this industry. That's the good news. What is the bad news? The bad news is, since everyone know that this is a very big opportunity, and also the entry level of this business is quite easy. I mean, everyone can cook, can sell something. Even though you cannot cook, you have mother that can cook, you can sell your mother's food, for example. Even though you don't have mother who can cook, as long as you have something in the kitchen, you can produce something, you can learn. Or let's say you don't have kitchen, you cannot cook, you can be the reseller to sell someone else cook, for example, or to sell snack or whatever. So the bad news is there are a lot of competitors in this business, and they are hard to stand up. They are hard to be known, to be acknowledged, to be one of the top mind in this industry, because there are a lot of competitors. So you know the good news and the bad news already. But let me tell you the potential of this F&B business. Food and beverage are in a fast-moving consumer goods category. I mean, talking about food and beverage, it's very broad topic. The variety of the product can be a lot. I mean, I don't only talk about ready-to-eat meal that you have mentioned before, your mie ayam, bakso, and soto, your ready-to-eat meal, but F&B business also talking about food and beverage in the packaging, makanan dalam kemasan, yeah, that you find in your favorite convenience stores. I have read the journal. One of the journals said that the trend of F&B business in the next 50 years from now, yes, 50, is not only ready-to-eat meal that you can buy from the pot or cafe, but also preheat meal that you can find anywhere, just from your doorstep of your neighborhood. I mean, the food business are growing. The food business are also improving. So you guys, if you think about being one of the owner of F&B business, it's not always talking you are behind the kitchen, cooking something, preparing something. Yes, you can start from there, but you can also think the trend is way bigger than just selling ready-to-eat food. Okay, so I gather some data here. As you can see, the number. Indonesia is one of the fastest growing economy in the group of 20. Group of 20 is like a group of country that have that share some law or share some campaign together. Yeah, let's say that's the very easiest way to explain about this. And Indonesia is the third fastest growing economy, especially in food and beverage sector. As you can see, the number is very big. Here is stated that all you need to do is just start if you want to, or if you consider to have business in this era, because the opportunity, the growth number are very good already. So this is talking about the data. And we all know that food and beverage sales are mostly increasing and bringing the positive growth and more optimism. And then, as now, the question is this the right time for this business? Okay. We are now in pandemic COVID-19. That's why I am here seeing my laptop instead of seeing your face, instead of talking directly in front of you. But here we are talking online, developing another way to share about knowledge and meeting other people. So is F&B business. F&B sector is also adjusting. F&B sector is also adapting to this situation. So talking about online selling is also have a very high number of growth. Yeah, thinking about a ghost kitchen, thinking about cloud kitchen, thinking about selling food in online platform is also one of the things that you can start with. If you said you don't have much capital to do it, there are a lot of cloud kitchen here. I believe there are also that you can start with a very friendly, monthly fee or profit sharing. You can always start. My very first tip today is don't be afraid of failing, because failing is not failing until you decided that you are failed. It's not failing, it is a progress. There are no success without progress. I would not say there are, I will not say there are no success without failing, because some other people did not consider their failing as a failure. They see it as a milestone. They see it as one of the progress. Why I see, why I can share that failing or failure is a progress, because through failing, you know that you need to evaluate in something. You need to, for example, take care of some little thing that you don't know before, that makes you, for example, makes your revenue doesn't always go just the way you expected. So I consider failing or failure is one of the progress and milestone in this business. Have that in your mind first before you start this business. All right, so here in Indonesia, 50% of customers spend more on food, which boosting their immune system, and they are preferring now clean food due to the COVID-19. I don't know if it happened to you, but it's also happened to me. Since pandemic COVID-19, I never bought something, dirty food, hawker food. They are considered not safe for me. So at this moment, I choose food that healthy enough, because if I, for example, having diarrhea because of my dirty food, it can lower my immune system. So, market nowadays are also well educated and very picky about this. This is the data that you can consider too. All right. Here's the thing that you should consider also. F&B business also is a very flexible business. As you can see, compare if you want to be a factory owner, you need a lot of capital. But if you want to be an F&B entrepreneur, it can be very flexible. I mean, you can start small, middle, or big based on your preference, based on your concept, based on your capital. So you can adjust based on your own condition. And the second things that you should consider, food now is a very pleasurable thing. Something that really gives you pleasure. Have you ever run to certain food that you are, for example, need a mood booster, right? I believe you are now thinking about certain food at this moment. And also food and beverage business, like I mentioned before, it has many varieties that you can choose and start with. So if you think that bakso is very high demand, but you cannot make a very good bakso, you think, please don't be discouraged because there are still a lot of options that you can start with. This is just also a data that in Indonesia, it has a really strong demand in packaged food, fruits, veggie, seafood, healthy food, cooking oil, gourmet food, tea, and coffee. These are the things that they are really growing at this moment. And start from 2017, more people prefer the convenient packaged food, and sale growth rose until almost 10%. And I believe this is the data from 2017. At this moment, in certain countries, people are prefer to have packed food because it's very easy to get, because it's very quick. They just need to reheat it in the microwave and they can just enjoy it. Okay, and also this is the last thing that play a very huge role here in Indonesia, and I believe also in Malaysia. Halal food has a very significant growth in demand of the people. I have a catering, right? I have event catering. Many of the people that order my catering always ask for my halal certificate. Yeah, it means that the awareness of halal food is also increasing. Do you know that there are several halal food bloggers that spread awareness about what to eat and what not to eat about halal food? If you know, can you type in your chat box? Or if you just know, you can also type in chat box whether you just know or you know the halal specialized food blogger. I want to see you. I want to see your word here. Do you know? Oh, Rasita don't know. Yes. Okay, Nadia. TikTok is very convenient to get a lot of information at this moment. Okay, most of you don't know, but I also follow one of the food blogger that specializes telling people about what food to eat, what food not to eat. Consider about halal. All right, this is the very common term, see, copy, and modify. In Indonesia, we call it ATM, amati, tiru, and modifikasi. This is a very easy way to start. I don't say this is wrong, but it has to be followed with the relevancy of your brand. It has to follow with the demand of your target market. Please also consider that behavior of your customer may shifting, and also consider about low-cost strategy. But this is not the obligation. I'm going to tell you 10 things you need to do before starting your own F&B business. All right. My very, very first thing is the product. I'm sorry. How come I cannot see my picture? I already prepared a very delicious food actually here, but okay, never mind. The product is the core and the product is the key. I mean, talking about F&B business, there are no more core things beside the product itself. If the product is not really delicious, people probably may buy one time or two times. If your product is just beautiful to be put in your Instagram, probably people are only buy one time snap it in their Instagram, and then they forget about your brand. But if your product is cater and suitable to the palate of your target market, I believe your customer will repeat the order. Sorry, Hanif, can you tell me what do you see? I see some here and there. I think this is error, but can you still see my words here about business concept?
I still can see the 5 points of the slides.
Okay, so sorry, I don't know what's wrong with it. So as long as you can see here, it will be fine. The second tips from me before you start your F&B business is, beside the product itself, please think about the business concept. The business concept and business model. Have you ever heard about BMC, Business Model Canvas? There are 9 points or 9 things that you should consider in that BMC. The top 5 that I put here is a very important thing. I mean, talking about concept and business model, it's talking about who's going to consume your product. I mean, you can say anyone can buy my product from toddler until adult. But yes, if you want to make a campaign, if you want to promote your product, you need to imagine that you talk in front of your target, potential target market. I mean, talking in front of students with talking in front of elderly people will totally different. I mean, the word will be different. The way you talk will be different. The composition, the layout of your design in your social media will be totally different if your product is for elderly compared with for students or baby food, for example, toddler. Okay, so please decide who's your very potential customer to consume your product. And point number 2, where do they find you? If you sell food online, where do they could find you? For example, you sell pasta through online. You don't have offline store yet, but you should think, how can people refer to you if they are craving for pasta? If you are a new brand, you need something so that people think about your brand or willing to try your brand. Maybe you think about endorsement in KOL, maybe you think about IG advertisement, but this is the thing that you need to think about before you start. Otherwise, if you sell it online, if you put in Grab, Gojek, or Cloud Kitchen, you will wonder why people never order my pasta. Why the revenue is very low? Because people don't know that you are exist. Because people don't know how do they find you. Okay, so the third point is, how do you want to make money? Is the selling food is the only way to make money, or you want to also sell the, for example, the side dish, or you also want to sell the prepaid, the prepaid paste so that they can cook their own pasta at home, for example. It's not always the food itself that generates money from you. You can also think about another revenue stream that you can make. So we are talking about the concept. Okay, and then this is a very important thing also, is your supplier sustainable? I've experienced one of my students' business. They are selling wagyu don, means that it's a warm rice topped with wagyu meat and topped with vegetable and sauces and sauce. And I think their product is quite good, but their business is closed because the only supplier closed down their business too. Can you imagine? Your business is growing, but you only have one supplier and they are not sustained. When they close their business, mean you have no choice other than looking for another supplier or thinking about closing down your business. So please think about sustainability of your supplier too. And number 5, who's going to be your partner? Are you going to operate this whole business all by yourself, or you are going to have an active partner or passive investor, for example? Think about this whole thing before you start. This is still point number 2. Oh gosh, I'm talking too much, isn't it? I hope you don't bored listening to me. Right, the third point is consumer behavior. We all know that each group of customers have their own specific behavior. You, student, for example, I want you please to type in your chat box, what is your very first consideration if you want to buy food? I believe it's, I have that answer in my mind, but I want to hear and I want to read, what is your very first considerations? Taste, okay. Rating, review, okay. What else? I'm waiting. Price, all right. When I was at your age, price is my one big consideration because I have a limited money at that moment, right? Taste and price. Okay, then all you know for students, taste, price, and portion maybe it's a very important thing. But compare with, for example, mature mature customer just like me. I'm married, I'm above 30 years old. I think price doesn't concern me that much. I still consider about the price, but that was not my top priority. My very top priority is who sell the food, with is it healthy or not, is it clean or not, is it hygiene or not. Yes, the quality of the ingredient become my concern at this moment. So as you know, each group of customer have a different behavior, and this behavior will make them behave and will make them decide whether they are buying your product or not. So you need to learn about their buying power, how much budget do they spend for each meal, their preference, their pain, their problem. What makes them want to spend money for your product? You need to think about this, because I saw a lot of F&B entrepreneur, when I asked them about how sure do you know that this product is going to be welcome with your customer? And the owner said, because this is very delicious, miss. Do you know? This is very nice. I use a very good ingredient. And I said, this is according to you or according to your market. You cannot always use your own taste as the indicator of your market preference. So you said this is very delicious, but probably your customer said, this is just fine. I don't need this. All I need is cheaper price and bigger portion. You can just forget about this little thing that makes it beautiful, but makes it even more expensive. So you need to study about the customer behavior. And then this finance things is also a very important thing. Make sure you have a prepared and clear financial reporting system. Means you have a very good initial investment budget. You have projection about how much profit that you want to get, and you need to also spare for the unexpected condition. Okay, because cash flow is the king. All right. Cash flow is a king. You cannot do the business, you cannot pay your supplier if you don't have cash in your hand. For example, you already built a cafe, a small cafe. It's very nice with a good furniture. You bought a lot of things, but you don't have much cash to buy things to pay your supplier. You cannot do the business. I mean, this is very important too. Rules and legal. You cannot. You also need to think about this, because at this moment, the government here in Indonesia are really pay attention of this. A lot of packed food without PPOM number, without any registered number, are prohibited here in Indonesia. They are charged a lot of money because they are selling the food without any registered and legally number of it. And this is also quite important, having a mindset. Doing an F&B business, I think it's a one-way ticket. Once you are here in this business, I believe there's no turning back. I mean, there's no turning back until you are succeed. This is not just a business that you can be as a side hustle. I said, yes, you can start it as a side hustle, but later on this business will consume your energy, will really need your attention. Consider this business as your boyfriend, your girlfriend. It needs your attention. It needs your time. It needs your investment of energy here. because it cannot grow if you don't pay attention on it. Pricing strategy are also very important, creating the strategy of pricing based on your customer behavior. And also, this is one of the main problem that a lot of F&B entrepreneur experience about how to recruit a good staff, how to recruit about a good human resource for your brand. So thinking about their salary, thinking about their remuneration standard, bonus, it's very important for them too. Last but not least, this is the point number 10, branding. Branding, branding, and branding. Don't forget that people buy not because you are the most delicious brand in the world, but because your brand crossed their mind when you think about certain food, right? Probably your most favorite food, it's not always brand A, but why you buy brand A instead of your favorite food? Because when you think about certain food, you think about this brand. Why you think about this brand? Because this brand is consistently pop up in your social media, because this brand is consistently pop up in the billboard, as you can see, because this brand is consistently doing campaign in TikTok, for example. So be the brand that always visual in front of your target market. So we're talking about branding at this moment. This is my favorite quote from one of my mentor. I am asked to start small and think big when I start my F&B business. At the beginning, I don't understand with this quote, but I think this is cool, I think. Okay, but because when you start small but you think big, your business can be scaled up. Okay, your business probably have a lower risk than compared with another very big business, but since you think from the start already big, the scale up number, the growth can be increasingly good. I mean, and last but not least, I would like to say just do and continue improve. All right, don't be afraid with failure. Don't be afraid with judgment from people. So I think with continuous improvement, you can create a very good F&B business. Another tips for a sustainable business is also you really need about innovation, whether the product is relevant or not. Have you ever seen a lot of old brand having collaboration with another brand? At this moment, yeah, last year I saw a lot of cosmetic brand, makeup brand, even having collaboration with food brand. You know, I believe you know what I mean, right? This is part of the innovation. This is part of the branding. This is part of the make the product is relevant. One of my favorite collaboration is between I forgot the name of the brand of the cosmetic, but they make an eyeshadow palette having collaboration with Kongguan biscuit. Kongguan is very old, I mean, biscuit brand in my age. I born and Kongguan already exists. And why they make this collaboration? Probably you think this is a weird thing. And even Sasa is a MSG brand having collaboration with one of the makeup brand, creating lip tint or sort of like that. They try to make their product relevant, considering generasi micin. Yeah, generasi micin is a term that you've heard it that much. Okay, and also supply and operational. You need to study about this thing too. This is talking about reputation and brand communication of your brand. And also you need to implement and adapt with digital. I mean, at this moment, there are a lot of application about a payment, application about accounting. You need to adapt to make your work easier. All right. Phew, finally, I'm reached to the very final slide, which is it's a time for you to ask me a question. I beg to Hanif.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your brilliant insights, Ms. Rosie. Hopefully the materials can be well accepted and by the participants and can give a clear picture about the F&B trends in Indonesia. Thank you so much for the tips and everything that you shared to us through the slide. It was very interesting slides. They were very colorful. And also, okay, let's start with the Q&A session for you guys. So that is the end of our sharing session with Mizz Rosie, but not to worry, we will now move along to the question and answer part of this webinar. So to all the participants, you are welcome to state your name, school or university, and the question in our chat box. So we will choose the questions to be answered by Mizz Rosie. So everyone, please. Okay, let's wait for them to write it. So, Mizz Rosie, where are you staying right now? Are you in?
At this moment, I am at Jakarta because I have sort of things that I need to finish here in Jakarta. But I will be back for Surabaya at the end of this month.
Okay, cool.
Are you online from Malaysia at this moment, Hani?
No, I'm in Jakarta, but I'm a student in Malaysia too.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Probably sorry.
Okay. Are you also interested in having F&B business? Have you ever think about it?
I think it like probably like 2 times, 3 times because I used to work in a restaurant in Malaysia as a waiter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
as a part-time worker, and then for me it's very interesting because the owner is teaching me a lot of things about the F&B trends in Malaysia too. She learned she was studying in Australia for this for that.
Cool. What type of a restaurant that you are work in Malaysia?
It's a local Chinese restaurant.
I see. Do they also serve for takeaway?
Yeah, they serve for takeaway too because I was working there during the pandemic, so most of them are doing the takeaway stuff.
I see. Great. Chinese food is one of the food that is accepted in worldwide, you know. It's very, very like general, the taste of Chinese food. You can always find Chinese food wherever you go, even though in India, Africa, wherever in the world, you can still find Chinese food.
Everyone loves Chinese food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, one question's already here.
Okay, so this is Razita Aunia from University of Malaya. So, okay, do you have any tips for those who are trying to start a business but are in school? So, does it mean a student or? I think she means as a student. Is it? Yeah.
Okay, so meaning that you as students having a side hustle, right? I think the most easiest thing is you become a reseller for a certain brand of snacks because snacks have a more longer shelf times. Because if you sell ready to eat food, for example, nasi goreng, for example, you need to be standby. You need to cook the nasi goreng every time you have ordered, right? Or you can also put the paste of your nasi goreng in the cloud kitchen, but you need to spare your time to prepare the ingredient. I think that will be not really suitable for you as a student, but I think become a reseller for dried products, for snacks, and you repack it, for example, and you give your own brand, that will be the best side hustle for students. I hope it answered your questions. There are a lot of factory or a lot of distributor are welcome for the reseller. I mean, you guys love snacks, right? I love potato chips. For example, you can start creating your own potato chips with your own flavor, for example. Do you know that there are one of the chips brand from Bandung, Maichi? They are starting their brand from that. Maichi is a very spicy cassava chips. Yeah. So I think selling snacks, selling things that have a longer shelf time will be suitable for you.
All right. I hope it can be. Okay, next question from Sarah Basalim. Oh, from Dinda Safarin, but Sarah Basalin wrote it for her. Okay. How do you stand our brand out by doing a different kind of modification? Because a lot of brands successfully modify their products and it's hard to stand out nowadays.
Modify and hard. I mean, this is a question about how do we stand out from the crowd, right?
Yeah, I think,
You mean?
yeah, I think it's about the marketing and stuff, is it?
How do we stand out, brand out? Oh, you mean being stand out by being different, is it? A different kind of with different modifications, is that right? Okay, so before thinking about how to modify and what to modify or what to innovate, you really need to have a strong core basic on your product and your business. Instead of keep modifying your product, because for example your product is not really good or is not really have a good revenue, for example, instead of directly modifying it, you need to think and you need to back to basic, asking yourself whether your product is sold to the right customer. I mean, because there are a lot of cases that the product itself is already good, nothing wrong with the product. I mean, the wrong thing is the owner is wrongly choose their target market. So, for example, like Hanif, you're not married yet, right?
Yeah.
Whatever I do to sell you, for example, a baby milk, susu bayi, you're not going to buy it because that's not your need. I mean, just like that. If maybe it's nothing wrong with the product, maybe it's not fit with your market. So you go back a while, one step a while, go back 1 or 2 steps, think more and think deeply about is the product and the market fit. We call it product and market fit. You can Google it later on, okay? So if it's not fit, then you need to modify your product or find the correct market for your product. Don't directly change the product, give innovation, whatever, and selling it to the same person. They will not consume. They are not your potential customer anyway. So please please see and evaluate whether the product and the market are fit or not.
All right. Let's move on to the next question. Well, a lot of questions now. Okay, from Indri Anissa. Usually young people are enthusiastic at the beginning and get leisure by the time in business, especially in the F&B where the trend is changing. Any suggestion on the right attitude in dealing with it? Yeah, a lot of curious about like that, you know.
All right, so we talk about the mindset. All right, I saw a lot of young entrepreneurs, especially my students here in Surabaya also. They are really like excited in starting the business, and when they face difficulties in the middle of the business, they are easily to bail out. They are easily to close down the business. So this is about the resilience. This is about your mental toughness. If you are bailed out, please ask yourself, is it because the business is really doesn't relevant anymore, or it's relevant more towards your attitude? I mean, please ask yourself. We don't want to continue the business if the business is not relevant either. You need to close it down sometimes, but please make sure that when you close it down, it's really because of the business. It's not really because you just want to bail out. You don't want to take care of it anymore. So I mean, please be aware of yourself. And the tips is, please always evaluate or be aware with yourself. If you are bailed out in this case, bailed out easily, give up easily, it's not about the matter of the business or what kind of situation. It's about your character. I mean, are you going to also give up your relationship with your partner? Are you when it gets hard? I mean, so please have this attitude that you need to finish what you started, right? It's okay to shifting. It's okay to pivoting. It's okay to reconsider the business, but don't quit or don't give up easily. I mean, like that, because it's not about the business when you give up easily. It's always about your mentality if you give up easily.
Okay. Maybe I'm gonna pick one last question.
All right.
Which one? Okay, Fadil Akbar. What do you think about molecular gastronomy food, and will this business grow in the future?
All right, Fadil, very interesting questions.
Yeah.
You can, my very answer will be actually a questions for you. Why do you want to do this business? Right? Considering that this is not an everyday food, right? You have to know the data first. This is not an everyday food, but I don't say that this business is not worth it to start with. But please be noted that your business that you are going to start, it's not everyday food. But there are a lot of non-everyday food that is sustained and successful because they do the branding very good. People always refer to this cafe anytime they have special occasions. Please be noted, even though this is not everyday food, but people always celebrate something with food, right? So this is the data that you can consider. But please think about the location, the concept. There are a lot of factors that you need to consider before you open the business. It's not about it's not about this molecular thing only, right? I'm talking about the general business. Please think about who is going to consume. Where do you open this? What level of economy will enjoy this food? What is the age of your target potential market? What is the spending power so that you can create a food that is suitable and match with their buying power? For example, you create a good molecular food. You aim students, which is their money is limited. Yeah, I think this is not the right thing. So about this business, I think, yes, there is always place for this kind of concept in the future, but you need to consider a lot of factors before you decided to go on it. That will be mine.
Okay, that's it, Fadil Akbar. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, due to the time limit, that is the end of our Q&A session. We would like to thank all the participants that have asked, and we hope that Mizz Rosie's insight can be useful for us all. Ladies and gentlemen, before we close our impact webinar today, let us take a group picture. To all the participants, please kindly turn on your camera, guys, so that we can take a picture together. I'm gonna count for 5 seconds. I'm gonna wait for 5 seconds. Okay, who's going to take the picture? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Smile, guys. One last time. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, well, that wraps up our event. We would like to say our gratitude to our guest speaker, Mizz Rosie, who has presented and shared interesting and helpful knowledge and materials for our Impact Career Ground Workshop as a part of IDFEST 2021. We wish you to see you in another time, of course, IDFEST 2022. And do not forget to follow our Instagram account at PPI Unimalaya or PPI Unimalaya, same thing. And Mizz Rosie's Instagram, of course, at MIZZROSIE, right? Okay.
Thank you so much, Hanif. I'm leaving. Bye-bye all. Success for you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mizz Rosie. Okay, before I officially end the session, I would like to kindly ask the participants to fill out the feedback form as well as the attendance confirmation to get the certificate later by clicking the link at the chat box. Okay. Okay, the link is already in the chat box. So finally, we have come to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Impact webinar event. Thank you for making time to join us here today. It has been our pleasure to host this event. My name is Hanif Al-Hadilubis, and thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Hanif. So everyone, how is the workshop? I think it was really interesting and a real eye-opener. So now Following the food theme, it's time for us to watch a cooking demo by Revel.
Hello everyone, welcome to Indonesian Festival Demo Cooking Show. My name is Revel Ghifari Sanggar and I am a accounting student from Universiti of Malaya. So today we are going to make one of Indonesian main courses named ayam pop. Usually ayam pop is identified as ayam goreng or fried chicken. However, ayam pop is different from the common fried chicken. Ayam pop is more white colored. The dish originated from West Sumatra and can be identified as Minangkabau cuisine. So, without any further ado, let's get started into the cooking. So, this dish will have two main condiments containing the chicken itself, and the other one is the Indonesian hot dipping sauce, or as known as sambal. For the chicken, we have 2 pieces of free-range chicken or ayam kampung, 1 liter of coconut water, 2 pieces of lemongrass, 8 cloves garlic, ginger, white pepper. We have 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of chicken stock, and 2 tablespoons of salt. For the sambal, we have 15 pieces of red chili, 1 tomato, 10 cloves of red onion, 6 cloves of garlic, shrimp paste, coconut water, 50 ml of coconut water, salt, sugar, and chicken stock. First, we are going to boil the chicken with other spices for about 45 minutes until 1 hour until the water is reduced. So, let's put the chicken into the boiling pan. Then, pour the coconut water. Next, we have to smash the garlic, lemongrass, and ginger. Then we are going to put the chicken stock, salt, sugar, and we're going to mix. Turn on the fire and let it cook for 45 until 1 hour. So while we wait for our ayam pop to be cooked, let's start to make the sambal. So first we have to fry all the ingredients to hot oil. Pour the coconut milk. Then we are going to blend the sambal ingredients until the texture is smooth. So the sambal is already cooked and the chicken also is already perfectly cooked. So the next thing we have to do is to peel off the skin. The next step we have to do is to deep fry the chicken for about 10 seconds just to make sure that the chicken has a better texture. So we have finished our cooking demo. This is ayam pop from West Sumatra. So thank you for all of you guys for watching my videos. Please stay tuned because we still have many great performances for IDFEST 2021. Goodbye and see you on the next videos. Bye!
Okay, wow, that cooking really made me hungry. That looks really good. Okay, so before we continue to today's agenda, we would like to inform that today's event is supported by Wardah and Indonesian Embassy in KL. So before we continue, let's watch a special clip from Wardah.
New Wardah Color Fit Last All Day Lip Paint, long lasting up to 12 hours. New blend seamlessly following your skin tone. New Wardah Color Fit Matte Foundation.
Okay, don't worry everyone. We still have two very exciting performances for the day. The first one is by Ehud, Harel, Julian. Ehud is a student from Airlangga University, and today he's going to perform one of Indonesia's hit pop songs. Another performer is Kaminaldi, and he is one of the Indonesian students at Universiti Malaya, and he also has released many great songs. So now let's watch both of their performances.
Ya benar ku rasakan cinta, begitu hebatnya sebelum ku kenal kamu. Dunia pun kelabu dan kau datang membawakan cinta yang telah lama ku nanti. Oh kasihku, kau membuat cinta jatuh dari mata dan turun ke hati. Tawamu buat aku tersenyum lagi. Oh kasihku, kau membuat dunia indah dijalani. Ku yakini hati kau paling berarti. Satu-satunya yang ada di hati. Andai saja kita berdua bersama selamanya dan kau datang membawakan cinta yang telah lama ku nanti. Oh kasihku, kau membuat cinta jatuh dari mata dan turun ke hati. Tawamu buat aku tersenyum lagi. Oh kasihku, kau membuat dunia indah dijalani. Ku yakini hati kau paling berarti. Oh kasihku, kau membuat cinta jatuh dari mata dan turun ke hati. Tawamu buat aku tersenyum lagi. Oh kasihku, kau membuat dunia indah dijalani. Ku yakini hati kau paling berarti.
Hi everybody, this is Kaminaldi. Kita di sini di IDFEST kali ini bakal bawain 2 lagu, Distance dan juga Sesaat Kau Hadir. Have a great time and enjoy the show.
It's time for me to go say goodbye with you. And I thought myself everything would be okay, and all the fears would just fade away. It ain't easy just how I said it all. That we all just been through, and I'm grateful last been with you. Wait for me, smile right back at you. At the gates of another moon. Can't wait to get back, hold your hand, and spend time with all menerangi jalanku. Kau tunjukkan arah mana yang ini harus ku tempuh, agar diriku tak sesat lagi seperti dulu. Bersama bayanganmu kasih, seakan-akan ku terjaga dari mimpi-mimpi, dari kehidupan yang semu dan melenakanku, membuatku terlupa akan segala-galanya. Hari ini, di hari ini, aku mencoba berdiri dan melangkah lagi. Bila esok sinar mentari pagi kan bersinar lagi, aku kan menuju cita-cita yang pasti. Pa-pa-pa-ra-ram, pa-pa-pa-ra-ram, pa-ra-ra-ra-ram.
Thank you, IDFEST. See you next year. Bye.
Wow, the performance were so great, right, everyone? I mean, looking at the comment sections right now. So let's give it up and cheer for both talented musicians. They were really beautiful, even as beautiful as our audience that has stayed with us and for the last 2 hours. But this isn't the end. We're going to continue tomorrow at 12:30 Jakarta, Indonesia time or 1:30 p.m. Malaysian time. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, we still have one merchandise for one lucky participant for today's event. And we're going to use the spin wheel, which you guys can definitely see on the screen. So we're going to spin it now. Oh, wow. Okay, Nashita. Is Nashita here? Congratulations, Nashita. Okay, so to get your merchandise, you can kindly contact the number that we have provided in the chat box below. Once again, congratulations to Nashita for winning the merchandise. Okay, so now to end today's IDFEST event, we're going to take a picture together once again. So the documentation crew, please kindly prepare. Also, everyone, may I remind you again to please turn on your camera and give us a big smile. Okay, I'm going to count until 5, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, smile. Okay, one more time. I'm gonna count until 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, smile. Okay, thank you so much everyone for joining today's IDFEST. So to close today's event, let's say Hamdallah. And finally, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize if there were any mistakes that I made. And thank you so much for your kind attention. And we hope you guys enjoy today's IDFEST. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And see you tomorrow for the second day of IDFEST.